best kind of Medusa 1v9 pick, but
there is a new meta out for the Medusa though.
What's that?
They're going Mjolnir.
True.
Mjolnir into Aghanims is kind of like the new build, which I would recommend for sure. This game.
I think it has to be the game. Into the Grimstroke specifically, you need to do the new builds, not like the classics.
Yeah, if you go Butterfly Scotty, you're just gonna give them.
But into Tiny and TA, you wish you had those items as well. Like I feel like Butterfly Scotty is great against them, but because of the Grimstroke, you now need to go for potentially inferior item builds. But
or they're just gonna have to make sure Grim can't get there.
True, yeah, in the game before he gets to the 30-minute action.
Yeah, either in the game or just focus him with Beastmaster in every fight, because it's pretty devastating late game. So they had a choice, right? They decided to ban Gyro, which I think was a really good ban. Morph absolutely had to ban that this game with the Brewmaster lane. So they knew this Medusa was coming. Probably why they took the Grimstroke as well.
Here's the last pick. Well, surely Xtreme knew that was going to happen.
They had a plan.
Exactly. They're not scared of that Medusa. They're like, you know what? You can have it. We're going to deal with it.
So I think that they probably did have a plan, right? There's no way that you forget about it,
no.
Right? There's just no way. So the plan is probably that they have this Brew and this Grimstroke, where the two concepts can be, if the Grim gets to an Aghanims, you're going to be able to have this cool copy. If he goes for that build that they're talking about, it can be a little different. And then they have a Brewmaster. So Brew in teamfights, toss that Dusa up, ignore her, right? Look for the way that you can have the number advantage. So perhaps that's something that they were looking at, and let's see how it all ends up going. Both sides, they do have pretty strong approaches. One side clearly more of like the meta, I think you could look at on the Dire side, you know, for Tidebound, but this TA tends to be banned in most situations, so.
Yeah, TA is pretty crazy. And in terms of, well, you know, one of the other heroes you just mentioned there, Brew, where are you at still at the moment with Brew? Are you still kind of not sold on this hero? What are you feeling with the Brew picks?
Man, I don't know. I'm already happy because he skilled Thunderclap. I saw one yesterday, or two days ago that had 0-4-4 until level 18. He had 0 points in Clap, so. I think this hero is fine. I just think that there's some situations where you pick this like double melee lane and he can't play the game. And Fear was talking about that with the Slark. So
sure,
I'm still a bit 50-50 on it, but I think I'm getting a little bit more okay with it as the tournament progresses.
And how is the lane? So, well, because he's got the back of a Xingqiu on the Grimstroke, this is not bad.
I mean, it's still a hard lane.
Sure.
It's here versus a Medusa and Jakiro. Jakiro is like the strongest 5 still at the moment, so definitely not easier. So other thing I did want to mention also about Grim is, of course they picked it because he wants to do lots of stacks, as we've seen from Planet in particular too with the fine art. His Phantom's Embrace is not going to be the easiest to use. Whenever you're playing versus Jakiro, the hero just kills it. Like, he just double attacks. So doubt we'll see him get many points in that early on. Nice try there, Planet. Almost sniping out Tianming. And Nothing to Say does have this matchup that he really wanted, and I think you kept mentioning it yesterday to me too, is Nothing to Say has not been given advantageous matchups too many situations. This time he's in a very nice spot.
Yeah, this is probably the best matchup he has been given.
Yeah. He had one the other day.
This is pretty nice.
Decent, but yeah, this one is very nice for him. Planet gets the side pull off, an ideal setup for them. Yeah, let's see if they can bully. Let's see if they can pressure Shira at all. The fact that he has Clap tells me that maybe they want to try to, but definitely not easy whenever you're playing versus that Jakiro, as I'm mentioning.
Yeah, well, I should always be able to hold them back if they do start to get aggressive and attempt to close that gap on Shira.
I feel like Jakiro's attacks... Actually, this is stupid, I shouldn't say. But I feel like Jakiro's attacks should not do the same damage to wards, because it's impossible to contest this hero when you're in 4 position and you're trying to de-ward. He puts a sentry double attacks in, you're like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, so it's really hard for you to really ever unblock camps or do anything like that versus this hero and put pressure on him lane. But right now they're doing great. Right now XXS is free farming up here, so not feeling that pressure just yet. I mean, Medusa lanes don't really pressure too much, but usually they just ensure free farm for her.
And will he just be going, what, for a Radiance rush this game on the Brew? If he's getting a good lane?
Probably. I'm trying to think because it's XXS. He sometimes deviates a little more to be more around like the team early timings.
Yeah.
So he maybe will look for a faster timing since they are playing with TA, but we'll have to see because I mean, Vessel has its merits versus Beastmaster and Monkey King, but it's pretty useless versus Dusa, so it depends on how he wants... what hero they want to itemize first in particular from him. If it's just standard route, sure, Radiance.
And because in this game as well, if it does go late, like, is that Aghs Grimstroke that much of an issue for the Medusa? Like,
I think with the new build it changes things, because the Aghs Mjolnir, you actually have ways to clear it, but it's not an issue.
No, sure.
That's for sure.
Because outside of that, right, you don't have anyone that can build a diffuser, really. Maybe you get Disperser on TA down the line.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's, you know, it's not something that's going to help tear through the mana of the Medusa shield.
No.
So, like, a late game Shiro,
He's got a
it's
great...
going to be quite the beast.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like the Brewmaster is just going to be the concept of just throwing
Take
him in
it-
the air.
take him
Just
out of the
take him out of the fight. All fights every single time.
Kill everyone
Throw him
else.
in the air, kill everybody else. They're going aggressive. Shiro getting gone with the Inkswell. It's fairly low. Stick.
One charges.
No man goes on Y. They got him.
Very nicely done there by Extreme.
Surprised Y actually has a salve in his bags instead of having a mango to be able to pass over for the Dusa. You do usually see picked up Jinkyu. It's a good connection with XXS. They're doing great in this top lane.
Yeah, he's getting pretty much free farm here on the Brew.
So, big deal. And we see that mid lane matchup. Monkey King is owning at the moment versus XM, but to be expected with the setup. Bet this is not one of those Brew games where he's going to be sacked, so see what he does queue up. See if XXS is going to go down that greed route, since he does get this excellent start to the game.
Yeah, mid lane just continues to go, I think, as expected. You know, just a bit of an edge here for the Monkey King. 22 and 12 against the 15 and 6.
Yep, he's trying to catch waves, as you see there. XM is trying to manipulate things, but won't be able to exactly. Nothing to say. Does hold the wave, though, so he's going to be able to deny this next one instead of catching it.
That's true. Yeah, XM's going to get his way back over here. Otherwise, he's going to lose out on this entire wave.
He's at least got to sap the experience a bit, so yeah, he'll step. Oh, this is a triple range creep for nothing to say. I mean, XM, go put some aggression onto him, yeah, so you can utilize these 3-4 range creeps on him. At least a little bit there, so he can miss some CS, but nothing to say. Keeps his composure. Bottom lane, Ame, full free farm. So unable to contest him with the Beastmaster. Yeah, cool approach here with this this Grim Brewmaster. And he's killing the Radiance. So, yep, he's having a free lane.
Yeah,
having a good start. They want to have that scaling.
It's going to feel pretty good this game, right?
Yep. Especially since he's able to get free lane and that kill.
Ooh.
So XM, a big
Nice
XM.
setup in the mid, indeed. Huge burst coming in from Jinkyu. Not quite enough, though.
That did a lot of damage. I'm enjoying watching this Grim. They're going for the kill. They were attempting there with the toss, perhaps, but unable to get the distance with that stroke. Positioned around the power runes. Level 4 versus level 3. Y is here. Level 6 has been hit on nothing to say. This could be a hard rune contest. See how XG wants to play it. They go for the toss back.
Doesn't get caught by that. It's going to be out of the range of the stun the Inkswell. Now nothing to say. He's ready to jump forward. Look for Jinkyu in the trees. Avalanches there from XM to hold back the two of them.
Yeah, that avalanche is dangerous. Power shot won't connect either, and nothing to say. He puts the point in Tree Dance rather than having Wukongs there to try to go for the kill, so won't have Wukongs until 7 now. This could get pretty farmy, or at least in this early game. Jinkyu getting himself positioned for more stacks. The beauty of the Grimstroke. I think there could be, honestly, situations where this hero rises just because of how many stacks that we're seeing. Of course, it's always a stack meta, but yesterday we literally saw Crit stack 17 times in 20 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was on his Muerta, right?
That was on the Muerta, yeah.
Where he's getting that crazy amount of stacks.
I mean, it feels like a lot of the 4 positions just thrive with that, right? There's Coddles.
Yeah, they can
Muertas,
they can stack easily.
Yeah, you can double stack quite effectively, as we see Jinkyu does not get the double stack, but he'll get the 1. And stacks we see on the side of Tidebound. They have a couple, but one was blocked now. Tianming starting to address the triangle since he knows Beast is going to back up there eventually. But I say that, but Bach is actually looking to play for the laning phase more than anything, rather than actually play to go back and farm stacks.
Mid.
Build XM. No mana.
Try and make a go for him.
He's completely
They're going to get him.
He's completely
And no way to protect himself. And no backup coming in either.
That feels like it shouldn't happen with him stepping up that far. Just literally no resources to prevent that kill. An unfortunate death for XM is nothing to say. Starting to really cruise it in this mid lane. 2,000 net worth on the Tiny, 3,600 on the Monkey King.
Yeah, he's having
That is an insane separation.
a beautiful start here. And one that he doesn't normally get to get.
No.
Because he's just not normally ending up on a hero that has that edge in the mid matchup.
I don't think it should be this much of an edge, though. This is craziness how much of an advantage.
I mean, you know, that death shouldn't
death is
happen.
brutal.
Right?
Yeah,
that shouldn't happen.
Big mistake there from XM getting punished. And now nothing to say. We'll be able to get this amp damage. They're looking for an aggressive play. Scouting stacks. But there's none there, so he doesn't have anything to farm. He doesn't want to dive. Brew is 6, so it's dangerous for them to go for any over-aggressive play on the side of Tidebound now. XXS is going to be a bit of an issue in this early game for sure with how good of a start that he's gotten. And yeah, going back to box build, he has gone down the route of the Overlord. We see he's gone for... He's got that Dominator finished up already, so we'll be able to look to apply pressure. And I think the reason he went for the summons this game is because he's versus these squishy, fragile backline supports.
Sure.
They can absolutely struggle when they're playing versus these summons. Yeah, a bit of a pivot of a game, though, from Tidebound, because that does mean a little bit of these timings will be delayed. Usually it's like this Ags Beast comes out, you look to play around the Tormentor,
I mean,
accelerate things.
How many times do we see the non-Ags build come out from these Beastmaster players? Like, are other people also doing this?
Some, but I feel like at this tournament, a lot less. I think
was
last tournament I saw more, but here I think everybody started doing Ags. But I think that's also because most of these beasts were like mid lane.
Sure, they're in different roles as well. We're seeing a lot of beasts in other positions. But,
so, yeah, this is cool. It won't allow them to force the Tormentor in particular in the same way, but allow them to fight around the Tormentor to contest versus potentially XG. So, okay. Let's see how that ends up working out versus the Brewmaster as well.
Yeah, this is a problem, surely. This Brew's just going to have such an early radiance.
It is really big. The problem, though, is also XM is just completely poor. Like, actually having one of the slowest games I've seen on Tiny in this tournament.
I guess that balances out. Yeah.
So it balances.
They're struggling in the mid, but indeed on the off lane, XXS having an amazing time.
Bach will lose his creep. Wait. He took... Oh, nice play there from Bach. They're about to kill his Dominator creep, and he dominates a melee creep literally on the last attack, so they get no gold out of it. Well played there. 1-1 in 10 minutes, Owen.
That's a slow start. It's the first game of the day.
It is.
We're waking up here.
Hey, these two teams have played each other a billion times as well, so understanding each other completely. Oh yeah, I didn't actually get the check.
What we got?
Was it that China knocked out China last time also? I didn't hear it.
It was definitely a recent tournament,
something
right?
like that.
I'm sure the panel talks about it.
Missed it.
But it has
happens.
happened recently, yeah.
Yeah.
But as I said, the plus one, whichever wins, we're going to get a Chinese team in the playoffs.
It's very true. Planet. Looking to apply tower pressure here. With Bach with the summon. They're bringing wide, level 2 Liquid Fire. They're going to look to defend this tower. I mean, they have all their tools at the ready if they'd like to bring the Brewmaster, but...
Bring the Grim over. Tower's going down, though. I don't know if they can stop this. Now, Tower's gone. Now they're going to bring TPs in, see if they can actually get some kills in return. They'll get the silencing onto Planet. We'll get the win run off, but the toss is there. Planet still alive. Finally, he falls. They'll drop the wheel. It's not going to quite catch on a Y. Nothing to say. Slams down the boundless strike on both Arme and Tianming, holds them back and gives the space for Y to get out. So they bring the four of them down bottom. They're not able to hold their tower, and they do only just get a support kill.
Well, that wasn't that exciting. I was hoping for a lot more to kick off there, but everyone just disengages as soon as they rotate. Tower has been claimed. It was not denied, right? Bach got the last hit. So he'll be happy with that. And now he can go down his Ags build. He's not going to full commit for that Overlord.
Yeah, the Ags just feels too good to not buy.
It's the best item.
As soon as possible. I mean, obviously, in this case, he gets slowed down a little bit, but he still want to get that Ags.
Of course. You always want to have it, but I can always understand why you want to get the other one if you want to put early pressure. But yeah, I mean, the Ags is... It's arguably the best Aghanims in the game at the moment, right? I can't really think a lot of times of a better one.
It's like if you don't have it, you're not playing the hero.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd actually have to think quite a bit to see what other Ags I like better.
What that's sort of essential.
Yeah, like what's another hero that just always rushes it at the moment? I mean, Sand King, but I would not put that nearly at the value of a Beastmaster. So.
No, I feel like Sand King's playable without it.
Yeah. Smoke coming out, Planet looking to move the Monkey King toward bottom. They want to get a kill onto Ame early. The pace of this game is so slow, so they do want to look to get that kill, slow him down, so the Medusa gets that acceleration over him. And it looks like they should find him. This is a hell of a surround. I mean, Ame, good luck getting out of this one.
Yeah, he's got no way out of this, surely. Yeah. Nothing safe. Finds him with the setup.
And overall, even though Ame is farming, it definitely is not really set up to be one of those games that's super easy for a Templar Assassin just walk in and attack targets. A lot of control that he's going to have to deal with. A lot of damage instances. But XXS, he is almost having a Radiant.
Yeah, he's chilling.
It's probably one of the faster ones we'll see as a Brew.
I think this has been so...
You got it. I'll keep going.
Yeah, we're back in.
You take it.
It says there is a storm. I think probably a very kind of visual way of saying there's a bit of lag.
Okay.
So nothing too exciting.
That's
But that is a cool way to say there's lag. There's a storm.
a storm is a brewing. Maybe they're talking about the game, the potential that could happen in the next few minutes. Ah.
Oh, it was temperature thing.
Temperature.
They wanted the room heat. Ah, that makes sense. Right. There's a storm.
14 minutes. Nobody contesting shrines. Both teams just fought. I mean, this is 2-2 in 14 minutes. These games.
Is this the slowest
This is
start
for
we've
us.
had?
For us, yes. This is the slowest.
14 minutes at 2-2.
Yeah. We had some games. I think we had like 20.
We had
14 minutes.
20. I mean, yeah.
Incredibly slow paced. Radiance. It's online. Deso soon to be finished for Ame.
I mean, even though like this Radiance is such quick timing, I still feel ultimately that I'm looking at this Medusa and feeling that
How's she going to be hurt? I don't know how they're going to deal with
again, this sort of when the Ags grip hold that fort here because down on the bottom, they get the setup on a buck.
her. Oh, the roar!
He's gonna go for the TP out. Is the stun there in time? It is. XXS quickly with the split, able to interrupt that TP and put an end.
Ooh, that roar. The pushback. Imagine the distance because he shoves the brew away that the boulder doesn't reach. That'd be kind of cool, but ends up dying.
He's gone. But it's just whether or not when the Ags Grimstroke comes out eventually, if that does just kind of completely destroy the Medusa.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if he pivots the build, right? I think the Shiro is going to.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Shiro's just going to go Manta, Mjolnir, Ags.
Yeah, because
so that is not strong.
Because Jinkyu is going to go Ether Lens
100%.
into Ags.
100% this game. But the idea that they want is that they're going to be able to deal with it, like with this Radiance Brew, throwing it up in the air, getting the copy themselves.
Yeah, sure.
To have that plus the TA.
But the thing is, like, you can deal with it, but the problem's not going to go away. And Medusa is a hero that could come down after being thrown up in the air, and even if the team's dead, if Shiro's got enough farm, he can still kill you all.
We're going to have to see. I mean, because XG, it looks like they feel content with farming, right?
Both teams do.
Well, of course you would say that TIDEBOUND does, right, with the Duke.
Sure.
Right? But I feel like XG is just like, okay,
They're chill as well.
We're scaling, all's good. Maybe it's just because XM did have such a slowdown on his game that he didn't have the blink to look to make any moves, but now he does. So let's see if they do want to look to make any aggressive move, or again, if they're just content with exchanging farm for the time being.
I mean, you would imagine that XG looked to maybe line up to get aggressive kind of soon, right? Especially with the fact that XXS he's queuing up the Shard next, so he wants to get the Shard ASAP. Yeah. You're only buying the Shard ASAP, right, if you're going to actually use the split and get active.
I imagine they want to set tempo.
Yeah.
Their lineup is about getting Tormentor, getting Aegises, taking towers with those Aegises. So Bruce Split's on cooldown. XXS is deep. He does not have enough backup. He is very dead. Even committing the roar onto him there, it's nothing.
I mean, 16 minutes is 3 for 3, you know, Bucks. Like, if I don't roar now, when am I going to roar next? You know, nothing's really going on. So, you know, when there's a bit of action, you throw your spell in.
Q getting those stacks made for Ame. Continues to get enabled. Lens is done. See how long it takes him to get that Aghanims. Definitely will take quite a bit of time. Okay, so Blink TA, Blink Tiny, Radiance Brew with a Shard.
With a Shard.
I feel like she's going to look for fights and look for a rush.
It seems like they are hitting a timing now where everything can come together quite nicely on XG.
XM with the haste also, looking for a potential play, but I don't know if he actually saw Buck. Now he did.
Let's see what he can do about this.
He's got the haste, so he's got great ways to play around him. And with Q here,
yeah, he's pretty dead. Get the Deso stack here for Ame.
Can you turn this directly into this Roche because you have that Deso? Perhaps at least look to maybe force an engagement. They're actually TPing bottom is Jin Q to set up. Maybe just check if there's any vision down here. XM does find himself a kill, and he is pretty much caught back up versus nothing to say. So, long are the days of that laning phase where there's a 2,000 gold difference or so. It's only a 300 difference between the two of them now.
Shiro continues to make good progress on the Miona after the Manta.
That's kind of cool. buys the Hyperstone first rather than the Maelstrom because he has split shot anyway, so can farm.
Yeah, it feels, especially if you're sort of just able to farm at that 2k gold.
Yeah.
You know, buy that juicier big piece first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a hero that obviously doesn't have actual flash farming mechanic, though, right? The Maelstrom's always better. But yeah, with a split shot hero, yeah, it's actually cool. I actually quite like that. Picking that up first. Shard, we see picked up for nothing to say. 4-3, still 1k. XXS level 12 has been hit. He's quite scary on this Brewmaster.
I think this is, you know, if this brew doesn't pop off, then I feel like teams have got to tone back on the brew picking because he has been set up for success here. XXS, he's gotten the space to farm his Radiance,
and he's got save. That's the other thing too. That we haven't seen it. Of course, there's nothing's really happening too much, but the potential of them 100-0ing him, as long as Tianming's in a place relatively close, should be able to get the save off every single time for him to get the split off too. So. This is very slow pace, though, as we see another smoke coming out.
Here's the smoke.
They have split available.
And as I said, they surely want to use it because he's got the shard. He's ready to have that extra duration on it and take over the team fight.
Is finished for Bach, so they are quite a bit stronger also on that front, on the side of Tidebound. Nothing to say. It seems like they know exactly where he is right now. They're pinging the tree. Won't be able to find him.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's a little hard to get behind the tower right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, XM did have the blink to be able to dive for it, but was hesitant to go for it. Hey, they're looking for the kill. They know that they're stronger at the moment as long as they don't just walk up into a high ground and feed some heroes, like feed the supports first. Also, Wukongs can be scary depending on how they walk into it here. XXS looking for Power Rune. XM will get it.
Can they get anything out of this? They're looking to XXS. They'll get the shackle shot, but the wheels drop down, and that will stop Tidebound from being able to chase.
Bit of a whiff on the wheel, though. Doesn't actually connect with anybody. So both 5 positions actually just whiff the ulties.
It stops the fight.
It does stop the fight, so that was kind of their... Well, I don't think that's what we want. We want to see a fight. It stops the fight.
Well, here's what these teams want. We don't want to fight. We want to keep farming. It's like, oh no, we used our ults. We'll have to go back to hitting the creeps. What a shame.
It's 4-3. Kill people.
20 minutes.
I know hitting creeps is very valuable, but... Okay, this is actually cool by XXS. So pivoting the build also, he's playing versus multiple split damage heroes, right? So Crimson Guard versus Monkey King and Medusa. That sounds kind of interesting. They're looking for XXS, but a complete whiff on the Boundless.
He's a slippery one, the brute.
Unlikely that they can really bring him down anyway.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But I feel, honestly, in a game like this, I feel like XXS could have gone greedier. It's like you're in a 21-minute game. It's 4-3. You know how you need those auras, you need those Crimson Guys.
Well, you want to go to Manta in this build?
Get the Manta Midas Octarine online. You know what I mean? It's Crimson. Who needs a Crimson? Nobody's killing anyone.
With the pace of this game, no, absolutely. Could have probably gotten away with anything. The Radiance is good that he's gotten it since it's so greed, but Tianming, get caught.
He should be dead. XM should get the chance to get out of this, though.
He's got the shield rune. Look if they want to try to re-go in. Nope.
Shiro, of course, Miona done. Ready to start working on the Aghanims. Now, that's the thing. When he's got kind of like the Ags of the Miona, does he clear through the Brewlings pretty quickly or not really? Like, how much does sort of Medusa do the Brewlings?
I mean, pretty decent, honestly. Yeah. If they get stone gazed, they die very fast.
They can, yeah.
Definitely potential for them to bring them down. And they do have a ton of split damage. That is very true. So it's... For XXS, his Earth Panda will be quite tanky, but the other 3 very likely will die inside of like these Wukongs and splits.
And again, I feel like in a game like this as well, nothing to say. I'm just going for the Mage Slayer BKB. It's like, maybe he would have wanted to get like a farming item, because they ain't been able to do much.
I think Mage Slayer is so good on this hero though, right? But
it is, but nothing's happening.
I know, literally
there's no spells to reduce the damage on, because there's no spells being used on him.
At this point, absolutely. He's probably like, man, I wish I had a Maelstrom.
You know what I mean? It's got to feel like that, right? When you're 22 minutes in, and you're that's 4 for 4.
I'm waiting to see what other people buy, because I'm seeing some people stack up some gold. You know, I'm seeing like the Jakiro, he's got 2K gold.
Okay.
I imagine Tianming will, of course, just go for the Blinks. That's the one that we've seen more popularized than anything on this ring.
See, I think Y's being smart. He's like, you know what, bro?
This could be a Midas.
Exactly. Dude, it's got to be tempting. You know what I mean? You're supporting
Don't do
this
it.
game. You're like,
Don't do
well, I've got 2k gold in the bank.
Don't do it.
Nothing's happening. My team's not doing anything.
Just buy the solar
I'm
crest.
Midas.
You just buy the solar crest. You've got Medusa. We'll see what he ends up getting. He'll probably get one of these support items for his big Dusa, since it is, it's not a full 4 protect one, but it eventually, yeah.
Nah, he's just gonna buy. He's queued up the Force, yeah.
Force, yeah, I think it's Force solars. Just makes too much sense this game. My goodness, though.
I mean, what about a Roshan?
I thought that
No,
XG was going to do it 4 minutes ago, to be honest. But I guess they're afraid maybe of the fight kicking off around it. But they have strong team fight. But nobody wants to engage in a... No one wants to do the 5v5, Owen. That's what this tells me. But Medusa, you have to feel like Shiro is pretty happy if he can get away with just sitting back and getting Axe timing with Mjolnir.
I mean, this is the thing.
But
XG must have some big brain strat here, because at the
it
moment
seems
it's looking like
to be.
XG strat's been let them have the 5th pick Medusa, and then we're gonna do nothing, and then what? I don't know. What's the next bit of the plan?
That is true, very much so. Ame. I mean MKB next, but
Tower is under attack.
this is a full glass cannon Templar assassin.
Yes.
So Ken,
Which is great. I like it.
Behind him. I like it too in some situations.
He's not
but
dying. Nobody is.
when he dies, though, if he does die, it's gonna be. Wait a minute. I'm very easy to kill if I don't have my saves behind me. But we'll see. Ame. Get the tower.
His bottom tower has fallen.
XXS is going to continue getting those auras online.
Ags is done. I feel like Shiro's gotten away with getting exactly what he wants. He's got Ags, Mjolnir, Manta. He's got the Gossamer Cape. They've got BKB. I feel like now it's Tidebounds. They're probably like, okay, we feel strong enough to just take that 5v5 likely since we've gotten away with this Dusa timing. Let's see if it works. So let's see if XG was right to be patient.
Oh, XM.
Shackle.
And it's going to latch
Beauty.
lovely on the creep there. Logs him down. Escape pack will give him a bit of a chance. They'll drop the Soulbind onto the two of them. XM's going to get the chance to step out.
They're tanky. The Crimson.
Surely someone dies here.
Nothing to say. He's getting poked.
XXS moving in.
Shiro.
He's got the split at the ready. Nothing to say. Gets off a full heal though with the Boundless Strike.
XM.
As XXS has to end the split, back off. XM gets taken out. XXS still trying to push forward. He's got to be careful though.
I mean, Shiro's just standing his ground.
Yeah, they got to back off from this XG.
Nothing to say.
This is Tidebound's fight for sure. Boundless
Ame.
Strike catches onto Ame. Ice Path to follow up. As they move in, under the tower, ready to dive in. Ame, can he get out of this? The escape act! Oh, he's away! Is he? Planet's looking for him! Under the tower, Shackles connects again! They've killed off Ame! XXS will survive.
Oh, and it felt like this is the fight the Tidebound was waiting for. They wait on the high ground. I mean, Shiro just stands his ground. That was a really clutch Boundless Strike also from Nothing to Say, do have to say that.
Well, that's
Pretty much full heal,
but that's the thing. Kind of worked against XXS because he popped the split, and then
full
it
heal.
gave him more units to connect with the Jingu Mastery Boundless Strike and get a full heal.
I think he maybe was trying to get like the lift up
To
on
throw
the
him
Medusa
up.
and then maybe dispel, but he had the BKB, so Tidebound it waited. It felt like this is the fight. They just waited, and XG just they've been waiting to wait for their items, but they're playing into Tidebound, which is their timing. Waiting for this big fight when they've got all these items, and they're tanky on the side of XG, but their damage seemed quite limited.
And this is the thing. It's really felt that the 25 minutes or so far this game, the do nothing strat just seems to work way better for Tidebound's lineup with this Medusa than I think it's going to for XG.
It does feel like it. They did get the 5th pick Dusa versus Templar Assassin, which is one of the best heroes in the game, in particular versus that TA, especially if you just get to sit back. So level 20, a 4K lead. That's the biggest lead that we've seen here, and it's literally when Tidebound decided they wanted to take the fight. Another catch, top, Bach.
XXS, can he get out of this? He's got split in 10 seconds.
I don't know why I said, yeah, Bach's got him. Yeah, they kill him. Even with the Crimson, they take through him. Huh.
Well, I said that Ags on Grim better be crazy.
That's pretty much what it feels like.
That's got to change the game up, because outside of that, I don't know what they're going to do.
Very interesting approach coming out from XG, really. Because Ame now, he's going to have MKB, but I'm worried for his survivability. And I'm not really feeling like this Grim Ags is going to do what it used to versus these, like, Butterfly Manta, Scotty Medusas of the old, now that it's Ags Mjolnir builds. Speaking of Jinkyu also.
And he's going to put the BKB, no messing around. He wants to kill, he'll get it. Nothing to say.
Yeah, blew the game open with that fight completely.
Is under attack. Radiant are fortified.
tier 2 now. He couldn't kill Shiro once. Now he's got Aegis. He also has the level 20 talent, which makes team fights a lot more confusing. The Stone Gaze lasts forever.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And let's see what the backup plan is now for XG, because they were content with just hitting creeps, waiting for this fight, rather than accelerating things.
That's the
now
thing.
you're playing with the Templar Assassin lineup that didn't get the first Roche versus a Dusa lineup that got the Roche.
And they would have had chances to get it, you think?
They
XG could have got in with the TA.
I'm not sure why
They had it. It was a very quick Dessa, right? It was good timings. It still is, you know. He's not in a bad spot, Arme,
Sure.
but he is behind Shiro's Medusa.
He's got MKB, but he's full glass cannon, so it feels like it's a high risk, high reward coming out from Ame, which he probably just has to do. The group up again, Tidebound, ready to go for the siege. They still have 2 minutes on this Aegis. I believe they also used their high ground glyph on the side of XG for that tier 2 on the left side. So if Tidebound wants to walk up to high ground and kind of pose the issue to them there, they can, because there's no glyph.
Under attack.
I've seen a lot of teams do that. I'm dumb, and they do have it. I don't know why I was saying that, but I thought they had used it. Either way, it's up. Thank you, production. So they'll have it here, but they are going to get forced back.
Dire's bottom tower is
I
under
swear on my screen it was gray. I'm blind.
I gotta do something.
They have to. I mean, they're going to pose the threat anyway to force them back. The toss back.
Let's see what they can do here. As you catch Shiro, of course, does still have the Aegis for a minute or so.
And they bring him down once. They will.
So if they can do round 2. Or if they even...
Four staffs.
Maxam.
Try.
Get another toss back. Shiro. Can walk away from this. They get the Wukong's command down. They've caught Arme. Arme will be able to force to the side, but they'll see him and chase him out. He's dead without buyback.
He's right in the middle of everything there.
He's a glass cannon. That's not where you put the glass cannon. Underneath their feet.
Well, they have to buy back, but they have no Ame. XXS, he's going to charge in with Split. Shiro is low mana, but they're able to disengage. Scotty now finished up also for Shiro. I mean, there was a glyph, so they were able to at least hold on for some time, but you can see that the style from Tidebound there is just, yeah, we still have time on this Aegis, we can force the issue. And they bring Ame down again. 0-3 now on this Templar Assassin. And now he's playing into Scotty, so it's much harder for that ranged hero.
Super tough.
Playing into, now they also have the Nullifier too, so the save on the Escape Act won't be as reliable.
He's got the Axa.
He does.
So we're going to see,
Let's see if it can...
how powerful the Dark Portrait can be. Is it enough? Or is it just going to die?
It might just die. It very likely will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like Tidebound just, they played their game, and actually they played their game, but it was playing into the hands of Tidebounds, at least for these, first 25, 30 minutes.
And as we said, this is the thing. If you're going to let them get the last pick Medusa, you got to have a plan.
You gotta have a plan. You likely, especially with like a TA draft, you want to accelerate things, you know? But not the case this time around as Tidebound. Gem now picked up, and looks like they want to siege the top side. And they'll actually find XXS up here.
Uh-oh.
And that's a kill on the Brew before the fight.
His game's gone massively downhill. Yeah. After having such a beautiful start, chilling, loving life, getting his radiance, good timing, falling behind now, getting punished. And it really just feels with the playstyle. I don't know how much kind of the Crimson into the Pipe has done or is going to do for them, really.
No. I mean, I don't know if I can blame the build. It's the style of the way that they're playing around the map instead of forcing, right? Earlier, right, when they had that bit of slight gold lead when they got Tormentor, they had like 8 minutes where they didn't even attempt to go for the Roche while Tidebound just hitting creeps, waiting for that timing for themselves, so... I mean, XG, now it's the point where it's hope for high ground defense, right, as we saw there. It's hope for toss-back plays and that you can try to bring down this Medusa if she gets too deep, but... It's a 14,000 lead now.
Yeah, they got a lot of problems this game, XG. That's a tough one.
middle tower is under
Yeah, and Ame doesn't even feel like he can go BKB, so he's queuing up the crit next, and he's playing into Roar, Stone Gaze. He's playing into all these spells that go right through it, so likely won't help him anyway. Feels like smooth sailing now for Tidebound, as it has, I mean, kind of since that 20-minute onward.
Unless the Dark Portrait destroys
Unless the
them.
Dark Portrait...
The Dark Portrait.
It doesn't feel...
That's all I'm going to be watching in these fights. After that Dark Portrait, I'm going to see how quickly it comes out, how quickly it goes.
For some reason, it doesn't feel as strong as it used to. Versus Morphling, yes. But versus a lot of these other heroes, I feel like it just, yeah, it has looked a lot more scary. But it might be the strongest hero on their team now. When they get that portrait. Very likely. BKB Tiny. XXS trying to finish up level 18 before that fight comes to the high ground, also for level 3 split. Honestly, their ideal way to fight for XG is you toss the Medusa out of position and the split goes in the back line and completely messes with the supports, and you just kind of split the fight up completely, but it's a very complicated approach that they have to go for, especially with all these extra items being acquired now on the side of Tidebound.
Bottom tower.
A full Shivas now for Bach.
I mean, XG's they're going to come looking for this.
Okay. They're also, when you have map control like this, when you're playing with Medusa, have to keep this out. They have greater healing lotuses. I think at least 1 or 2 of them on the side of Tidebound as well. So they can't pass that one over to the Medusa, which is an insane amount of EHP. So we do see 1 there at least.
Scanning.
They are going for
That's a
the
good position.
biggest wraparound. Still not
It's a good position here.
not 18 on XXS. He's literally 140 XP from having it, but
Is anyone going to walk up it?
Planet.
Or do you think they
They seem
sense
to know.
that something's up? They're sending the illusions in. So now they'll know for sure, especially with the Impalement Arts getting thrown out and Arme showing himself. So Tidebound won't be walking into this trap.
Good awareness by them. Just complete understanding of where the map positioning is. And now the Croaker will run down toward the bottom lane to force the issue and force reaction and information. Planet will get tossed, though.
He's going to get caught.
Roar.
Quickly kill him off. Mark moves in. They get the jump forward. They're in on a Jinkyu. They get the ice pump up.
Arme.
One of the Wukongs come on. They've caught the 2 of them. Arme and Jinkyu gone.
Planet will be the sacrifice for the team. He just runs and he's like, I got info. So they see Ame and an instant roar comes out, and that Dark Portrait.
I didn't get the chance to get it on Shiro, right? I think he just had to throw it down
think
onto
so, yeah.
even the Monkey King. So, didn't do a lot. But, you know, that wasn't the situation they were hoping for, XG. They'll have to try again.
Hey, Planet with some, like, I like that. He just runs and he's like, go on me. And they do, and it baits them. So they lose Ame 50 seconds now. Without him, they can get that push, that onslaught going again. Level 23 on Dusa. Glyph is at the ready. Okay. I'm not blind this time.
Well,
And he's just up to the high ground.
yep, that's the fortification coming out from XG.
Spotlight. The illusions will go toward bottom. And this is him alone, by the way. Shiro
Radiant's middle tower.
now does have nothing to say behind him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, look how they're split up. Bach is farming bottom, Jakiro's farming jungle, Planet's farming top, as they were also looking to pressure mid for a moment there. So you can tell the comfort that they're starting to... I mean, they probably have felt for quite a long time on the side of Tidebound.
Radiant's bottom tower.
What's the backup plan? There is none. It does seem like there just is none there from XG. Now, that was an attempt to go for this big wraparound play, but you can see it was not even a close fight. Even if they catch, let's say, the Deuce on the front lines, right? It doesn't feel like that fight's going to come close either.
I mean, maybe the backup plan is... I don't know even know if this works. I don't think I've ever seen it being built. If you get refresh, can you get 2 Dark Portraits up, or when you get the second one, does it, like, dissolve the first one?
You can. I'm
Maybe that's it. They need
British.
two Dark Portraits.
Good luck in that.
2 Dark Portraits of the Medusa. That's going to be the backup plan.
Roche, it's claimed that Aegis Shiro is gigantic. Level 24 now, too. Okay, toss under tier 4s into Brewmaster split. Purple Void Panda to the fountain.
That's true. They could try and get someone back
Unfortunately,
there.
it doesn't pull that far.
Yeah, they're going to have to be hitting the Ancient.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the plan. You know, let your tier 4s go. Let yourself get Mega Growth.
Hey,
And then when they're hitting the Ancient.
He's got the toss requires no target, so he can throw them
Okay.
into a random location. But here comes that onslaught. Nothing to say. Giving some information. The banner is down. Eyes on XM. See what targets he wants to actually go for. They actually see him, so he needs to be a bit careful of that himself.
Hard to get the toss back now.
They've got the Medusa illusion, but it is already almost dead.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's watch it.
Toss back.
What? Shiro.
The illusion's dead.
As they get the roar out as well onto Arme. Escape Pack will come in and try and save Arme. Can they get him back safely? they'll turn with the Soulbind, look down the two of them, but Arme's just dead. No buyback for him, out for 90 seconds. And Shiro's still chilling, of course, out of mana, but has the Aegis.
The illusion died in seconds.
It did.
Did literally nothing.
Well,
Another toss back.
let's see if they can at least get the Aegis out of him. They can.
Can the once.
Shiro's gone once. Can they do it a second time? They don't have their carry, of course. Arme's still there for 70 seconds. My goodness, Wukong's commands
my
down.
God, the
Xiaoming's dead. XM getting chased down by nothing to say. Pots the BKB here, cleans up Xingqiu.
That's gotta be it. Hey, they're sticking around. They buy back.
He's trying for the
Tiny.
toss. No, this was the plan. They let the tier 4s go. When they're hitting the Ancient, maybe he can get the toss back.
Ame's dead forever. Tier 4s. Level 25 hit on Medusa as well.
The Dark Portrait's ready. Give it a few seconds to have the Soulbind as well. But the Ancient is dying. XM, look for the toss back.
Lord.
And indeed, he's dead straight away. The Shackle Shot connects onto the two of them.
Oh, man.
This game's over, Fox.
This was a strain. Because it was just so low kill count with a team that you could feel wants to be able to set tempo with TA because it's a last pick Dusa and it just... Yeah, I don't know, Tidebound felt like the pretty easy approach for them, just kind of chilling back, waiting for that Ags Mjolnir timing. As soon as they get it, they group up, the fight comes to them, they win the fight, they get an Aegis, and smooth sailing.
I mean, maybe XTREME did just forget about the Medusa. And then when it got picked, they just did not have a plan. So
Sure.
they didn't even try and execute a plan. They didn't even try anything. It was a rough game from XTREME, and it was a surprisingly easy one for Tidebound. They take game one.
Indeed, an easy one. They can't all be classic.